Sit back, relax, and join William and Lee on their journey through the strange and mysterious world.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Strange and Mysterious World. Tonight's topic is one I absolutely knew fuck all about until William mentioned it to me. Something called synesthesia, which I actually thought was something to do with anesthesia. So, yeah, William. So, must be honest, I did a bit of research on it. It's like, this is like a superpower, man. Hey?
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish I had that. Look, I know I know apparently there's some doc, it was first recorded in 1812. There was a doctor that actually figured this out in 1812, so it was actually first recorded then. There was a first actual report that was done. And the doctors today have actually said that there's over 150 different types of synesthesia. So now let me explain it quickly to people that are listening and probably were on my understanding, because I had no clue what it was, dude. So when you as a normal human being, or us as normal human beings, we want to get around this world, we make use of our five senses. Okay, obviously sight, smell, sound, touch, and hearing. So, you know, if you're observing something or you need to get from A to B, you're using your sight, or if you listen to somebody's voice or you listen to music, you're hearing sound, but it's never at the same time. It's always individual. So it'll send a signal. So if you're hearing a sound, the sound sends a signal to your brain. Your brain then maps out and says, okay, this is what you're listening to, and sends a signal back. Okay, so that's kind of how our normal senses work, and that's how we operate in the world. But with synesthesia, it's like a mix. So you can actually, there's some people that if you read out something to them, they can actually see colors as you're reading. Some people will hear music, but they'll hear colors with music. Some people will taste. So if they're reading like A, B, C, some people can actually taste the color. So can you imagine that, or taste a word? That's weird, dude. Can you imagine, like, say, B tastes like onions? Huh? So fuck. It's actually pretty awesome. You know, I must be honest. I was really, you know, when I did a bit of research on it, I was like so blown away that there's actually this thing that exists. And according to research, 4% of the world's population actually has this, what would you call it? Has this ability. It's not a medical. So if you go and have a look to see if there's any side effects in it, it's not actually a medical condition. So apparently it can come through in three ways. So you can be born with it, which is what most people have it. It can be acquired. So if you have an accident, as an example, maybe in a car accident and you hit your head, or you have some sort of brain damage or trauma, it can actually come along that way, that you can acquire it. And what was the third way? There was another way of, I can't remember now. There were three ways. And apparently you can learn it. But
yeah, well, that's the thing, because like there's a book. I wish I could find the lady that wrote it, but I mean, she wrote a whole book on it, and they are trying to teach children how to have this ability, because the benefits of it is so amazing. Because not only when you hear like a musical note, like if say somebody plays it on a guitar, they play A, you see like the color A, you associate a color with that sound.
Yeah.
With other things as well, you could get a sense of smell, or a sense of taste, or like or something else, but it's usually like a color. And when you look at certain letters, like A will be like red, and like, I mean, I'm just making saying red. I'm just making up examples, and then B will be green, and C will be blue, or whatever. So when you look at a word, it has like a different certain color to it. So when people, they say that when people that have this ability, when their memory on how to memorize things is like so much better. They're like superpower memory, because you're not just associating like a word with just the like, you know, like how we see it is just like some letters on a piece of white paper. They see colors, they see shapes, they see sound, like they'll see the word and there will be like a sound that resonates to it, and then there's a color. So then like 3 ways to memorize that word or like that letter, as we just got like 1 way of memorizing it. So, and with numbers as well. So if they see the number like 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, it will have a different color to it or a different sound to it. Or so then now they've got like different ways of memorizing these things. So they've got like 3 ways to memorize. So their memory is so much better. And then in the lady's book that she was writing about how they've been trying to teach children how to acquire this certain senses, like apparently before we started using our brain so logically, like I remember when we were talking about the Lemurians and
Atlanteans, yeah.
and Atlanteans, and that was that we had the veil was a lot thinner in those days, and like how we perceive things was so much differently until we started getting the logical brain. And then all of that kind of super sensory ability started losing because we started thinking more logically with evolution with our consciousness. But now they're trying to train the babies to get that sense back. So like, so to go back to the Lemurians and Atlanteans.
Yeah.
So like in nature, when they like saw like they heard like a cricket like in the wild, like making like like at nighttime a cricket noise, they would see geometric patterns. I mean, this is apparently we don't for sure, but see geometric patterns or colors or whatever with the cricket, the sound of the cricket. It was like this different experience in nature and in like a reality, which is like a lot more deeper than just sitting there like listening to the cricket. And they say that babies actually have this kind of sense to a degree, like being a baby, like when they do hear something, they can see a color or whatever, they experience it so uniquely. So when babies are born, they're trying to in the way that they're trying to teach children how to keep that ability is that they were like, I don't know, I can't remember. It was like they would when they play a certain sound effects like the crickets, they would give them light. They would shine different color lights in front of it, and that so that they would associate it with that noise. Or I mean, I'm probably it was a long time ago when I read the book, but so I'm probably killing it, and I wish I could remember the name of the book. But as you said, there's a way to acquire it because they are teaching children how to develop this thing, and I think it's very interesting because maybe we'll all have the whole world could advance so much more in consciousness of maybe if we were trained to keep these abilities from childhood.
But
that was a long
no, but it's yeah, but that's good. But now I was wondering, if somebody's playing a guitar and you're seeing colors as the guy's busy playing, you're seeing the sound and you're seeing the colors. Do you think it's the same for everybody that has that specific synesthesia, the sound synesthesia, the sound to color? Do you think it's the same?
Yeah,
so like if it's A, it's red. If it's B, it's blue. Do you think it's the same for everyone, or do you think maybe this one sees B as red and this one sees B as purple?
That's very interesting, Lee, that you mentioned, because Hinako, that we're going to interview in a moment, because I was on a shoot where I was filming these 4 women from all around the world that formed this band called Women of the World, and they sing the most amazing, like, I don't know if you call it a cappella or whatever. It's just their voices, and they use like simple instruments, like just banging on like a drum or something. But I mean, it's most amazing, incredible, very talented people. But so I was filming them, and one of them, she came to Japan. She had synesthesia. She was telling me about it, and that's exactly what I thought. I thought like, I wonder if they, like, is it all the same? Like, when we look at blue, we see blue.
Yes.
Well, most of us. I mean, so like when they see A, do they always see that same? Do they all see the same color? You know what I mean? Like with the A, or associate. I did ask her that, but she's going to come on now again, and we can ask her again. But I mean, I don't know how many other people she knows that's easier to actually kind of correspond her experience with, see if it's the same. But because I mean, that's the only person I've ever met with synesthesia before. So yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if that's if it's exactly, because that's exactly what I was thinking when I first heard of it.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's funny because
does the letter B all taste like onions? Yeah, to everybody.
alphabet soup will be a different,
Yeah.
different.
Eh? Yeah, noodles. Yeah, in fact. Did you know that synesthesia is actually in the Bible?
Imagine your name, like you say your name and you get to taste shit or something, and you're like, so they say the name. Stop talking, stop calling me by my name. Tastes like shit.
Well, it smells like shit.
Yeah.
Do you know that synesthesia is actually in the Bible? It's mentioned in the Bible.
Good. Where?
Just it's a very quick thing, but in the book of Exodus, when Moses is on Mount Sinai.
It's so funny because I've just finished reading Exodus.
Okay.
Like 2 nights.
Well, do you remember he was with all the people that were when he was on Mount Sinai? He was with all those people. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and they could actually so listen carefully. It says they could hear the visions and they could see the voice of God. So seeing the sound and they can hear the vision.
So the God was like giving them this like synesthesia, like kind of experience.
Yeah, they were probably smoking a bit of pot, maybe, because you could. Yes, that was the other way. Sorry, man, that was the other way of actually getting it. It was drug induced.
Yeah, I was about to say that when you were saying it.
Yeah,
but yeah, because like, especially with LSD, because they said like I remember when I first ever took LSD, like back in my college days, they were like, that's what the thing was. They were like, yo, you must be careful with this stuff because you'll see like music and you'll hear like words. And I thought that was so excited. I was, geez, well, give me that thing right now. I want to see if I can see the music or whatever. But I never, even on the drugs, I couldn't do it. So I'm totally stuffed.
Did you not see it at all? Anyway.
No, I mean I saw a lot of interesting things and experienced some cool things, but I never ever saw music. Or when when I was listening to music, I never saw colors. Or I mean, I saw colors like even without the music on LSD. But I mean, it's not like associated with that music or something.
Apparently, you can get it on if you're taking DMT and ayahuasca and peyote or peyote, whatever you want to call it. Apparently, you can see that kind of stuff. But I think it's to do a lot with auras. Because I'm sure some people would be able to then, if they can see that kind of stuff, would they be able to see your auras as well?
Yes, that's what Hinako said. She said that she sees people's auras. And
really?
I wanted to ask her like, well, what does my aura like look like? But I was like, I felt so egotistical at the time. I was like,
this is the girl that thinks we're Hare Krishnas.
No,
Not the same girl.
No, yes, it is.
It's the same girl. Yeah. I was like, Hare Krishna. And look, I know every time we do a bloody podcast, we want to try and develop these things. So we're going to be landing up like superhumans.
Maybe we should take some acid and like and go on the show, like, tripping balls.
The problem is the problem is with that, and Anthea is going to have your balls. How's your new space, by the way? Your new spot?
Oh, geez, it's so small.
But is it better than where you were?
No, I mean, like I love the other place so much better. Like it was. I mean, like the thing is, I've been traveling a lot for work, and I've been and then a friend of mine, when I go to Joburg, he always lets me stay at his house, but he's living in Cape Town now. He's got a house in Joburg, so they asked me if I could just house at their house. So I've been at their house, and now I'm in Clan Williams, and I'm in Swellendam now. I'm just come from Clan Williams, so I haven't really been home to even experience the new place.
Okay.
Oh.
But you're not enjoying it.
Huh?
You say you're not enjoying it.
Well, I mean, it's so small. No, I like it. It's nice. It's okay. But it's not like the old place.
That's the place that was going to drain you of all your bucks, bud.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what old Debbie is like. Yeah, because we did the show on listening now. We did the show on Feng Shui.
Yeah. And
the lady like Debbie, she analyzed my house's Feng Shui, and she said, "No, you better move out because this thing's going to suck all your money out of you, money out of you, and you better leave." So I was like, "Fuck it!" So I got out of there. No, but I mean, I wanted to move anyway, but that was like the straw on the camel's back.
You better not.
So now I'm in this place. I'll see.
You better
if
not.
I get rich, then I'll and be like, yo, no, this is great. It worked. Even though I'm staying in like a matchbox little thing with a bed and a sink, and I can fry eggs while taking a shit on the toilet. Which is so close. But it worked.
Yeah. But you better not let her check her new spot though, because just as she does the thing, she says, no, you better get out of there as well.
No, but when I started looking around, I made sure that she analyzed every single spot. And like, lucky I didn't have to pay her every single time, because I think she felt responsible that I moved out of the old place. So she's like, so she analyzed all of them. I was like, okay, how's this place? This is like quite nice. Maybe I'll move here. What does it look like? Is the energy good? And then she would draw the graph up and show me like, no, okay, yeah, no, it's good. This is so the what place that I've got now, she said, is lucky energy. I'm going to get a lot of lucky energy.
Okay. All right, that's cool. I bought myself, while talking about her, I actually bought myself one of those organ necklaces. And I've got some I've got some pyramids as well. I got them actually off Temu.
Okay. Well, geez, you better check if that stuff's legit.
No, I've actually had a look. No, you can see
a tin foil and
no. You can actually see there's resin, some sort of rock inside, and then there's metal. That's kind of what makes up organ.
Okay, well, let's get an EF. What is it? Detector. So we should test these things.
Yeah, we can. We must actually do that. I'll do the download the app that you had on your phone, and I'll go and what's the thing called? Ghostbuster.
Some kind of ghost hunting app.
Just give you the proper name, because I went and had a look the other day and they're all shit.
Dude, the thing is, I've been sleeping on an electric blanket for the last 3 days, and that thing is not. I can't because I'm basically sleeping on electricity. I've realized this because I have not slept properly in 3 days because I've been sleeping on this freaking electric blanket, and I was thinking, why the fuck am I feeling so angry in the day and I can't sleep? What? And then I realized it's because I'm sleeping on an electric blanket. I mean, that thing must be like frying my aura or something. I don't know.
Frying your balls.
So yeah, so I wish we could do what electric blanket does. Anyway,
fry your eggs.
Yeah, it'll be fun if it would make me sterile. That'd be great. Maybe I should just lie my balls on the thing every night.
Write it down.
Hi, Hinako.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going? Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, it's 9 p.m. here in Abu Dhabi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes,
konnichiwa, Hinako.
Hello. Lee, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't guess.
Go ahead, Lee.
Yes. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Thank you so much for doing this. It's amazing. So I gave you a brief intro about Women of the World and you and a very brief thing about our adventure.
Nice.
The world and forming around. But yes, you introduce yourself a bit.
Are we already recording? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're recording.
Okay. Sorry. Yes. Hi, my name is Hinako. I'm a musician based in Abu Dhabi at the moment, and we've been, my husband and I live here in Abu Dhabi. Before that, we were in Japan, and before that, we were in America. So we travel around quite a lot. But yeah.
And how long are you in Abu Dhabi for?
For about half a year at this point.
Okay, and then you're going to move on.
I kind of true. Yeah, I have a plan to go to Europe next, and we'll be kind of going back and forth between Europe and the UAE. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. So William was telling me that you think we Hare Krishnas.
Not exactly, but no.
I was telling a story about us, Rosh Krishnas, and then Nicole said, "Oh, you mean Hare Krishnas?" And I was like, "No, Rosh Krishnas." So anyway.
All right. So Hinako, we were actually chatting about. Funny thing is, a couple of days ago, we were speaking about the synesthesia. I'd never heard of it in my entire life. I promise you, and I'm 52. So in 52 years of my life, I've never ever ever heard of synesthesia. I thought it was some sort of medical, some sort of something they give you at the when you go under like for when you have anesthesia and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought, what the hell is that? And then William actually told me about it, and he said, no, a friend of mine actually has it. What? And then I did some research on it. It's like, you got a superpower, man.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Never really thought of it that way, but
so explain your one. So what is your synesthesia? What is it that you see?
right. So I have, I guess, many types of synesthesia, and I've never really looked into it like deeply. Maybe you might have read more about it than I did. But the most prominent one is with letters, for example. I see colors when I read, any text, any numbers.
So what is
in
it?
my mind, it's just.
Is it in your mind, or does it so like, say for example, you were reading a book, and
Yes.
you've got a page and you're reading. Does each letter have a specific color, or is it just like a mix of colors as you're reading? It's just like a swirl of different colors. How does that work?
So with letters, for me, each syllable has a particular color, but it's not like two-dimensional, if you know what I mean. It's got multi-dimension. It's got like heaviness, like the weight. Some is lighter than the other, or some is more textured than the other. Some has kind of like this rough feel, and others have more silky, smooth feel. So it's not just about a simple color per se, and it's not so like a marker. There are 12 types of colors that are typical. It's kind of, it depends. And I feel like for me, if I read a letter or phrase like or word like sense, for example, then the combination of colors that exist next to each other affects the way I feel about the whole word.
It's kind of almost like overlays.
Yeah. So for me, S, the syllable S has a very strong, shocking pink kind of feel.
And how do you see this? Do you physically see it, or is it in your mental? Is it in your mind? How do you see it physically?
Not necessarily. I mean, of course, like, yeah, if it's written on a piece of paper with black ink, I see black ink, obviously, but I feel pink. It's as if I almost see it in color, but it's a sensation in my mind, like in my brain. Yeah, hard to explain. And
I think I understand it. So it's not like you're walking around on the street and you're looking at a signboard, and the signboard says, I don't know, coffee shop, and you're seeing in your mind, you're seeing the colors, but it's not like you're seeing all these yellows and blues and reds as you're walking.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's not that, for example, if the word is coffee, I see some sort of like brown, black. It doesn't have that coherence, like it's not related to
coffee,
to the word itself. Yeah, because the word C to me has a yellow kind of lemony color to it, and also the syllable F is more like a deeper green, and so it's not the same.
That must be weird. But you can also, you say you can feel the word as well. So sometimes they a little bit rough, sometimes it's smooth.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So it's not like like you don't see like, okay, this word is making me feel angry or sad or whatever. Like, I mean, something we could sometimes feel that, but I mean, you feeling it more as like a texture.
Yeah, more like texture, even temperature, light, dark. This kind of a sensitivity. It's just kind of multi-dimensional.
Geez, that's actually quite a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's like takes a lot.
Overwhelmed though. I mean, it sounds a bit overwhelming.
Yes,
sometimes.
Correct. Yes, yeah. So I'm a Japanese native speaker, and in Japan, if you have been there, I don't know if you have, but like in Tokyo, the streets are filled with signage, like flyers everywhere with words written all over with different colors and so many syllables. and I get overwhelmed personally, just with this sheer exposure to so many letters, numbers all over, because I feel like I process it in a little bit deeper, way than necessary. So
Yeah.
my
So
brain kind of.
how do you cope with it then?
Mhm.
So if you're coming up with that sort of, look, I can understand if you like maybe going to New York. I mean, geez, there's like,
Yeah,
that's got to
it's a
be
lot.
bad. Yeah. So how would you cope with
Yeah.
that?
I tried to kind of strike a balance between going out and having my solo, me time at home, away from distraction and away from all these stimulation, because it can be a lot. I kind of developed this way of on and off mechanism, in my mind. When it's on, then I'm like okay to take on the information, but even then, it's sometimes a lot, because for me, synesthesia is not just about seeing colors in letters. It's also about people as well. So like the touch, So if I shake hands with somebody, if I'm not distracted with other stimuli around me, like if there's like strong smell or something else going on, I might not notice it. But if it's under the right condition, I feel colors, right, or some sort of texture through touch. And that can also affect me in a weird way, So
So
Jeez.
now,
good or bad.
William was saying that you can see auras as well. Is that, are you able to do that?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, sometimes yes, I felt like in the past that has happened, and it's hard to pinpoint at this time, because it's been a while. What caused that particular feeling, Yeah, so it's a bit harder to talk about the auras. Whereas if it's like a handshake, then I understand like that was probably the trigger that caused my mind to see something or feel something, in different ways. Color, most of the time, color is big for me, but sometimes the texture, or the heaviness, the light and dark, temperature, all of that is combined.
So at school, like, I mean, stuff got overwhelming. When I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of kids just they say, like, I mean, you got ADHD. That's just an umbrella term for anything that they don't understand how to deal with the kids. So, I mean, did they like put you on Ritalin or something? Or, I mean, was it a problem at school or
No,
anything? Like,
I
do
don't
you think
really.
it you?
Sorry.
Do you think, sorry, I'm asking like two questions at once. So you can just answer the first one and answer the next
Yes.
one.
No, it didn't really cause major problems or anything at school, and also I was never really, in a way, like diagnosed. It's just self-assessed. At this point, because at some point when I realized about this is, I used to love drawing a lot. Like I used to write illustrations, and I used to write random lyrics on my notebook as a child. And after many years, I noticed that I always use the same set of colors for all the letters, and then I thought that was strange. Like I never decided that S was pink or Y was whatever, color. And then I started wondering, like, oh wait, maybe other people see it the same way or not. And then I talked about it in high school with my high school friends, and they're like, what is that? And most of them didn't get it until I went to Florida, and I met this guy in high school choir, and he understood what I was talking about. And he was like, yeah, to me the note C on the piano is red, whatever. And I said, oh, finally, yeah, exactly, it's like that, with letters, numbers. And so that was the very first time that kind of I had this acknowledgement. But otherwise I didn't really have any issues in a way. Like in school, I was fine. I mean, I excelled in arts, but I don't know how related
No, I think that's actually
that is.
I think that's one of the research that I was doing with regards to people that do art. And if you've got that, apparently they excel very, very heavily in art, or in any form of
Yeah.
art, whether it's music or painting or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And you know, they say that I guess having synesthesia sometimes benefits in terms of memory, and I do feel that a lot. And you know, for example, if I recall a scene or a conversation with somebody, it's not that I just remember the words that somebody said. I remember the context and the background in such vivid detail, as if it's happening right in front of me, like a movie. You know, like from the breeze on my skin to the moisture of that space or whatever, to like, you know, all the sensory kind of memory. It's interconnected oftentimes, and I wonder oftentimes, is that because of synesthesia, you know, that I remember a lot. Like, for example, if I touch somebody's shoulder in that particular moment, and then it's like boom, you know, this sensory memory is like amplified. That later on, when I recall it to such vivid extent, and it's also helped me to draw later, you know, from memory. Yeah, instead of just like relying on an image, I can kind of pull deeper information, I guess, from some of the things that I.
So you would be, it would be a lot more detailed.
Yeah, like a lot. Yeah.
Well, you know what? While we were on our trip, what I noticed, because I was in a car with 3 other girls, of the women of the world, and she always noticed every like detail. Like we would be driving, and she's like, "Oh, look at that little thing there, or that tree there, or like that time." Like you just she would notice everything all the time. I was like even mentioning before she even said that she had synesthesia. I was like, "Wow, you do notice things like a lot. Like you're very good at seeing things and noticing detail and spotting things and that." I was really impressed with that. I don't know if that's related to the synesthesia or
probably.
But,
yeah, sometimes probably if it's like signage, especially like you know, advert, then I see different colors. So sometimes I just, you know, look at it. I just notice. It's almost like the colors popping out, even though visually it's just in one color. You know.
Yeah.
Just sorry, my dinner just came.
That's fine. So there's something I was chatting to Will about just before you came on, Hinako. We were wondering, and I don't know if you would know this, but we were wondering that if somebody's got something similar to you, okay, the same sort of experience, say you see, so the color for A, do you have a specific color that A is? So what's the color for A?
For me, A is a bit like deeper moss type green.
Like green mossy color. Do you think that A would be the same for everybody else that's got the same thing, or do you think they might have different color?
Oh no, very different. Yeah, I think it's, unless they were trained through a certain system or something.
Do you think they can be trained though? Do you think it can be trained?
I think so, to a certain extent, even though I don't really know anybody who's had that experience. The only relevant thing that I can talk about here is, for example, music, you know, because I'm a musician. I know a lot about like music education, and I know that sometimes in certain schools or school of thought, and they train kids how to play piano or how to learn musical notes by assigning color, you know, to each key. So if they study through that specific method, then when they're very little, they're trained to hear the note C as red, you know. So then they grew up with that association. Then it's like everyone who went through that school would hear the note as, you know, as a C as red, and it's kind of the way that they. I mean, that's what I heard, you know.
Makes sense.
Taught.
So
yeah,
when you and your buddy, when you in Florida, when you met up with your friend and he was says, "Oh no, he sees the color with the music and that." Did you guys compare notes at all? You go like, "Yeah, well, I also see
we did.
Yeah. Did it match up?
No, it didn't.
Did
Like we had a complete. Yeah, we had a completely different set of colors assigned. So that's what was quite interesting to us. We were like, what? see
Okay.
is not red. It's like, it's golden or whatever. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so that's
so
actually answered my question. And so everybody has their own sort of association to that specific note or to that specific word or letter, or whatever it is. That's actually pretty cool. Okay.
yeah, again, I mean, it's hard to generalize because I've only met like one or two other synesthetic people in my life. So that's not a lot, right? To generalize. So
Well, we were saying there's research has been done. There's only 4% of the world's population that has it.
really? Wow.
4%. You are one of 4%.
Wow. Okay.
That's why I said you've got a
I did not
superpower,
know.
man. That's a superpower.
Yeah.
We know of people that have taken DMT or ayahuasca or peyote or whatever, and they see those weird colors. And for you, that's kind of a natural thing. So I'm wondering,
Yeah.
now that you're mentioning that, I'm wondering if there's no way that your body or the people that are seeing these things has some sort of mechanism that is creating the DMT naturally, because you must remember in the body, we have a natural tendency. That's how you dream, because there's a certain amount of DMT that gets released into the body, and that's how you're able to dream. So I'm wondering with you guys, if it's not possible that you're getting a lot more than everybody else does at any given time, and you can start seeing those things naturally. That's why it actually you don't need to be taking all these weird and wonderful drugs.
Oh, yeah, well, that's fascinating idea. I mean, I'm curious to know, if there's any kind of possibility, into that being true.
Yeah, that's actually so cool. That's so cool. That's weird.
Yeah, because I mean, it's exactly like that, like for me, I kind of feel like, I'm just on this natural high. Oftentimes,
Naturally.
and especially if I go see a concert, like a performance that is well done or whatever, like when I'm stimulated, like a sense, in terms of one of those sensory systems, like sonically or anything, then it's crazy, and oftentimes I'm like, I wish there was a tool that allows me to capture what I'm seeing fast enough, because there's a lot going on all at the same time, and no medium has allowed me to really express that in that way. But maybe there is something, to visualize it. That would be extremely cool.
Yeah. I was reading a little bit about some people that have the synesthesia, but it's to do with sound, and there's certain specific sounds that actually hurt them.
Yes,
it's weird. They actually get pain if they hear certain things.
Oh man, I mean, but don't people get that to a certain degree though? For example,
not at all.
Like, no.
Unless I'm standing right next to a speaker and this thing's blaring, maybe my eardrum's catching a bit of a sore, but otherwise no.
So like one specific example that pains me even as I think about it is, for example, if you have a pot for cooking, like a silver, cooking pot, and then you scratch that with a spoon, like a metal spoon or fork, and it makes that like
you talk like a chalkboard kind of
I get
nails
that.
on a chalkboard.
But I mean the sensation that that this thing, the scratch sound creates in my head is like unbearable,
I get that with tinfoil. When people are playing with tinfoil, my teeth get sore, like bad, dude.
So I always thought, like, isn't that but isn't that sort of like
it must be. We've probably all got something like very minute to do that, but you're right. You're right. Probably do.
Yeah, because then I feel it in my teeth. I feel the taste. I feel this crazy, like, I don't know, colors as well. Maybe that's maybe my.
You've actually got to leave the room. You've actually got to get out and leave the room, because it's so.
Yeah.
My ex's voice. Yeah, talking. Jeez,
I'm not cutting that out, Will.
Lie down and die.
Shit. So, okay. So say, for example, you now at a concert, okay, which you were, and there's this beautiful, almost like, guys playing a flute, or it's a violin, but it's such beautiful music. And then you've got a concert where it's rock and roll and it's like, bah, bah, oh, you know, this. Is there difference in sound? Is there difference in colors that you see? Like with the harmonious stuff, the colors seem to be a lot more.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the other stuff, it's
Very
very
different.
hard and really. So it comes out with the color as well. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So the vibration is the vibration, the frequency then has very large effect on it. Okay.
Yes. And I got I have the other example. It's kind of flipped from visual to sonic. So I have this. Okay, let me grab one thing here. So you've probably seen this painting before.
There's
You've seen
Salvador
You've
Dali?
seen oh sorry, it's like Sleeping Gypsy by Henri Rousseau.
Is that a dog? The lion?
No, I think so. Yeah, it's a sleeping lion, and in front there is a sleeping gypsy.
Okay.
With a oud.
Yes.
Right next to it, and they're probably in a desert somewhere, and there's a little creek maybe see in the background, and it's at night, and there's a full moon. I mean, if people know what this painting is, it's at the MoMA in New York, and so I saw this real painting many years ago in New York for the first time. I went inside. I didn't know that this painting was there. The moment I stood in front of it, I just heard this strangest high frequency coming out of the painting.
Really?
And yeah, I mean, that was so shocking to me.
Okay.
And it was just like an incredible feeling. It just sounded kind of like a whole bunch of violins or, playing all together, but in an incredibly high frequency, like faint kind of sounds coming together, and the more I stood in front of it, the louder it got. And yeah, it was like this quiet symphony was coming out of the painting, and I was mesmerized, and I just stood in front of that painting for like probably good half hour.
Wow.
Just
okay.
Being immersed, in that feeling. Yeah, so that was, since then this painting is always in my heart. It has a special place.
Do you still get that when you look at the painting? Or is it
Yes,
like...
yeah. But it's not all the time that it's so vivid. Once in a while I come across something that's just like, wow, this is like super musical.
It's not always the same music though, it's different music.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah, sometimes I don't even know if it can be called music, but it's like sounds coming out. It's frequency, right? That I'm probably translating somehow into sound, and I don't know.
Because I had a bit of a theory there, but then that might have got blown out of the water. I thought that maybe when the guy when he's painting that picture, in the background maybe had some sort of violins playing, and that music maybe got on.
You picked on it like
got onto the picture, onto the picture, and then when it put it down, only certain people can actually pick up that. Oh shit! So he was listening to that at the time, and the paintings picked it up.
You say it's like stone tape theory, like when the room or whatever absorbs the frequency.
Yeah, so the paint actually absorbs the.
So that actually happened in the painting.
Oh. Yes, and then you're hearing the frequency from the paint.
It's interesting, yeah.
That's a fascinating idea. Yeah, that would have been really cool if it's somehow true, and if I can trace back to the music, through the pigments.
That's why I said you got a superpower, man. It's like that's actually brilliant. I was saying to Will, we should try and teach ourselves, because I see there was a guy I was on YouTube this morning, and he had tried. I think he's been trying to train himself with the piano. And then what he did is he got himself, they're little bottles of aromatherapy oils.
Yeah.
Okay. So what he would do then is, he would have, he would put like the aromatherapy oil. No, wasn't A? It was, anyway, he put aromatherapy oils under the certain keys, and he said, okay, he's going to associate. So when he plays that key, he's going to associate that aromatherapy oil, that color, so it might have been brown color, and that smell, which would have been like cinnamon. So C is cinnamon, and it's brown. And he was trying to teach himself something like that. So maybe, I don't know, that might work. Jeez. But that's like so
Yeah.
fascinating, man. I've never in my life heard of it. And there we go. We got somebody
I
that
mean, you
actually,
should try to train yourself and see if it works or not. You know?
I don't know. Yeah.
No.
I don't, I mean, I wish I could, but I know I've done these things so many times, and I did maybe for 2 months, and then I just give up. So
Yeah, he just goes and takes some
Okay.
LSD and it's, I'll get there quicker, man.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's actually
Yep.
so fascinating, man. I'm like, really, that's, you know, we
Yeah.
the podcast is called Strange and Mysterious World, and that is totally strange.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Totally
So-
strange and mysterious. Yeah.
have you had any other like kind of psychic experiences in your life besides synesthesia?
Oh, not related to synesthesia?
Yeah, or maybe it was part of it. I don't know, but like of any other, just
Oh.
anything strange or that's happened to you that could be
Yeah.
psychic or paranormal or whatever.
Yeah, the most strange thing that I can tell you is when I was in middle school, so I must have been 12 or 13, somewhere there. My grandmother, who used to live with me, she was practically like my mother because I didn't live with my mom, and she was very ill. And so she got hospitalized, and I was living at home pretty much by myself. But normally the routine was that she would wake me up in the morning. I used to live on the second floor and she was on the first floor, so she would call me in the morning from downstairs to say, "Hey, Hinako, it's time for school or time for breakfast or whatever." But she's been hospitalized. She was really near the end of her life, so and it was like a Sunday or Saturday morning. It was a weekend where I didn't have school or any reason to get up. But that morning, I woke up and I was so sure that I heard my grandma's voice calling me, like, hi, time to wake up, and I woke up because of that. And then we shortly after we got a phone call from the hospital saying she's about to, leave her
Oh, shame.
body to the next, part of her journey.
Sure.
So that was really the most strange thing ever that
Okay.
happened, because I really felt like I got that call,
That's amazing.
So now, so you were born with synesthesia. So you've kind of had that since you can remember. There was never
Yes.
a thing that happened maybe when you were young. There might have been an accident that you might have had
Oh, no, yeah, no, that's not like that. I've always, I guess, had it. Actually, I'll tell you, my husband, on the other hand, he has a quite interesting story as well. I mean, I don't know if I, if I should like talk about that on air, but just to kind of give you the context, like he had a massive accident when he was in his teenage years, and so he lost his memory, like and for like 2 years his memory was completely jumbled, and like he had to really like train himself to build up his memory. So the way that he remembers everything now is like a logical tree. Like he's kind of like a computer in a way. Like without logic, he cannot remember anything.
Okay.
But as long as there's logic, he remembers every single detail about everything about this world. It's kind of crazy, like encyclopedia. And so when we compare notes between us, it's quite interesting because he would remember the same instance, like even if he went to a travel somewhere in a remote place together. And then I would have this like vivid movie-like memory, right? Because of my synesthesia and all these. He would have this like very descriptive, like a coder kind of memory, where we say like, it's like text-based memory, as
Yeah,
if you will.
like analytical and just like data-driven, kind of like
Yes, it's like very much like a 2D data.
no feeling or sensation or like mood or something like that. It's just like
it's like just completely like taken away, and it's just a text, like a plain text memory. It's compressed. So, but because of that, he can recall a lot of different things really fast, I feel like, while I take a lot of time like loading just one single memory with so much sensory information. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just the way that we process it is so different. Yeah. To me,
Wow.
that's strange and also interesting.
Wow. And he's an engineer, but he's an engineer now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scientist and engineer.
Wow.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like two ends of the spectrum getting together. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
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 No, awesome, man.
So
Okay, cool.
Wow, but
yeah,
that's
but because of that,
Yeah.
yeah, I just feel like because of that the memory loading at kind of it's like you have a lot of data to load, right? With the synesthesia, sometimes it makes things difficult as well. I feel like in terms of constructing thoughts together, or trying to convey messages to the other person. If they're in a hurry and like I'm trying to get to a point or something, then in a way, I've sometimes felt that my synesthesia gets in the way of communicating smoothly with people, while on the other hand, it helps me as well to remember and to connect with people just kind of beyond the regular means. And
yeah, okay. Let's go. Yeah, because I wanted to actually ask you, like, would you ever want to not have it, or like, or I mean, are you happy that you have it? And I mean, have you ever thought maybe I don't want to have this, or?
No, I mean, I feel like it's a really cool add-on.
Yeah. It's an upgrade.
Like, yeah, it's like an add-on that I have in my life. And like I have poor eyesight, and so most of the time I kind of feel like with this synesthesia, I see a lot more beyond what my actual eyes can see.
No, that's
great.
good. Yeah, 100%, man. That's really cool.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks,
That's
man. Hinako, is there
thanks,
anything
Charles.
else from your side? Well, Hinako, you guys want to say anything else?
No, I might forget. You might turn off. I'll be, oh my God, why didn't I ask her that? But anyway, yeah, is there anything do you want to say, Nicole?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me on this show. It was really nice to talk to both of you, and let me know if you ever do an experiment on synesthesia on yourselves.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. We'll give it a bash. We'll try it out and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
and then we'll compare notes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Good luck for your next 6 months and then your travels thereafter.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Nicole, well, thank you so much for being with us and taking the time to be on the show.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sayonara.
Looking forward to. Sayonara. Goodbye.
Cool.
Thanks. Talk soon.
Cheers.
Yeah. Bye.
Have a good
Thanks
one.
so much. Bye. Okay, cool, man.
Same, yeah, she's really, really cool, man. Sounds like a really,
she's-
really nice lady. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
That's so
she's-
cool, man. But she was mentioning something a little later towards the end. She was saying something about when she sees things in her mind. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and this is a silly question, but when I've asked people this, a lot of people, I'll tell you now what happens. So, if you're reading a story, a book, okay, just whatever, Wilbur Smith, whatever book you're reading, how do you see a story in your head? Do you just see the words? How do you picture it when you're reading a story? How do you see it?
I picture the images.
Yeah. Do you just see, like, say if they say a lion is walking in the jungle, he comes across the campsite. What do you see? Do you see this lion, a picture of a lion?
Yeah, I see a lion walking there and going to the. I see it in my head. Yeah, exactly how it's written.
So it's like watching a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's people that don't do that. They just see words. It's like they can't see the images, and that's why people are saying, "Nah, fuck, I hate reading," because it's like I'm just seeing these words, and then I'm like, "What? No, man."
I hate reading, and like I see the movie, and I still don't like reading.
No, but I suppose it depends what you're reading. But there's guys that I spoke to that actually can't imagine it. There's no imagination at all. It's just like words. I'm like, no,
that's like the opposite of synesthesia. That's like
that's anesthesia.
Yeah, that's anesthesia. Exactly. That's
Because you don't remember anything when you wake up from anesthesia.
that's fucking on your back, dead.
It's like dead. Yeah, you wake up and you
Blackness, blackout.
Yeah, shit. Hey.
It's like load shedding.
Yeah. Yeah, load shedding is actually anesthesia for South Africa. Yeah, we'll check you guys next week. Well, thanks, Span, again, and good luck with your shooting this week. See you soon.
Yeah, cool, Lee. Good luck there, man. Cheers,
Back
bro.
about. Cheers.